Hello and welcome back to the Retail Journey podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Charles Greathouse.
And I'm James Harris, and today we're talking with Chase Binnie. Chase is the CEO of RetailWire and heads up that operation from right here in Bentonville, Arkansas. Welcome to the Retail Journey, Chase.
Glad to be here. I've seen a few of your episodes.
I know. I've read a lot of your articles, a lot of your wires.
Yeah. So for those that haven't, seen the Retail Wire or might not know, tell us about it.
So a Retail Wire is where retail discussions happen. We host panel discussions every day that are based on recent news articles. So in a way, it's like reading up on what's happening in retail. There's a briefing of, top 5 to 10 stories. So if you're kind of just on the go, you just pull up that email and see like what's the top, stories of the day for retail. And then you can dive into those discussion topics, which we have a brain trust panel of different retail leaders, retail experts, technology folks that chime in and comment on that.
Awesome. That's great. Feels like something we're going to link below after this podcast.
Yeah.
Sure. Feels like that should happen.
And you've done a lot of things in this space before RetailWire. You want to give a little personal story? What got you into this space? What are some things you've done that you want to share?
Yeah. So my background really is really a lot about marketing and probably media before I realized it was media. When I was, in college, I do a lot of traveling. So I was doing some travel journalism, documenting different, places before it was kind of like the influencer thing to do. I've owned a few different small businesses, everything from, the hair salons to marketing agencies to a cleaning service. So as far as like everything that I do is framed in through the angle of really marketing, messaging, like connecting with people. And so it was really a few years ago when I was looking for the next thing to jump into, I was kind of looking for some opportunities, and I saw RetailWire had been around for 21 years. The founders had started in 2002 as the first retail discussion forum.
Awesome.
And, I saw what they had built, and more than just like views on a website or number of subscribers, I saw a community of people really passionate about, sharing their thoughts and having thought leadership kind of hit, multiple angles.
Yeah, I know, pretty organically.
Yeah. Because I think every year every month almost, there's different challenges that hit the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And just reading headlines doesn't get you, what do people actually think about this? What do the operators think? And what do the consultants think? And so just seeing like different thought leaders in the space sometimes duke it out,
Yeah.
tech versus analog. You got in retail, you have like the traditionalists who are like, it's about people. It's all about people. And then you've got like the whole data world. It's about data, And so I love seeing just the different points of view.
Yeah. I like to say data represents people. People create data.
That those people are a number, but what do you do with that?
Yeah. We're obviously fans of data, but also fans of people.
Yeah.
But no, it's fun. I love that sort of origin story of seeing something that's well developed. When you think of like what's on your mind as the new, not new, but CEO of RetailWire, what's the future of this kind of forum or the discussion look like?
Yeah, there's a theme actually we've been seeing, which is, there's a lot of different solutions out there. There's a lot of tech companies. In fact, like a lot of tech companies moving into the retail space, have their other verticals, and they're seeing like a lot happening in retail as retailers become more like platforms.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And so what does that bring? It brings a lot of, technical knowledge. It brings a different point of view than traditional retail. And I think it brings another challenge of a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So those who are operating, legacy brands or legacy retail organizations, it's like, what do we believe? Like, do we need to do this? Do we need to add AI to everything? And how fast? And who's the best, team to bring that in.
It had to cut through the
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of a guide across the changing landscape of retail.
Yeah. It feels like definitely a push-pull between,
Yeah.
The operators in the space. They have different problems too. They have people, they have like just leadership challenges, generational things. Like you got me going,
Yeah, you're good.
we had a roundtable, a private roundtable for brands and retail leaders today, and there's the challenges they're facing are anything from trying to keep up with the tech and AI all the way to, hey, we had different expectations between the management and our new like Gen Z employees. Gen Z will check out at 5 p.m. and like there's an expectation that like you work till you get it done. And so even just like different people and culture things and within our organization, I think those are the things that tech can't really solve for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you still need leadership and management and accountability and setting those expectations. If they don't know the expectation is to work till it's done, then you got to blame them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And less fun to talk about than AI and all
Sure.
the things that seem like new and novel, but are probably just different.
Yeah.
From the challenges of the past.
Having read The Wire, really maybe not quite since 2002, probably 04, 05 is when I first kind of discovered it. And it's on the weekly cycle, with all the stuff that's out there. But you've been able to stay relevant through a lot of changes in the last 20 some years. But you're not just a certain retailer, or you're not just brick and mortar. You're not even like a trade magazine. You're really at the intersection of a lot of different things that incorporates all that, incorporates media, incorporates social, incorporates changing dynamics on if tariffs and things of that nature come up into.
Sure.
But you're right in kind of the thick of what are the things that you're seeing, and talk about whatever you want. If you want to talk about current events, but also what are you seeing that you think is going to be like the future that's going to drive the growth for the next few years that companies need to be paying attention to?
A really big theme is AI, obviously. And I think that it's pretty well consensus that like companies need to adopt AI, that you need to use it. There's ways to adopt in a mature way, right? In a way that's like feasible. And there's sometimes the top-down leadership. It's kind of one of the technologies that's, across the board, like top-down, saying we need to do this, and then sometimes they push a little too quick and just throw it in, and the company's not ready for it. But that's going to be the table stakes for retail and brands who are trying to stay ahead. Is it's not really what you do with AI. The next thing is, what are you going to do with that money saved, right? If you find new efficiencies and you can get a lot more done, or you can get those things done with agentic, tools. What are you going to do with that spare time?
Yeah. What's the fill then?
Yeah.
It's not that there's less to do. Most likely, it's like, well, now someone else is going to be moving faster.
Yeah.
How are you going to catch up?
How do you see AI really playing a role here in the near future around advertising, specifically in media?
Yeah, tricky question. I think I talked with someone today who just got back from Amazon Accelerate, and they're showing these features of like you give it a picture and the AI will just make your whole product page. It will make like different models wearing it and stuff. And well, that's, as far as creative and, getting these product images up to a certain standard, which a lot of pages don't have that, it will become table stakes again.
Right.
And so it's kind of like,
so how do you cut through that noise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're the first to use it, cool. Like you got a lot more done. You got a lot more ads out there, or, social media content. But now everyone's going to have it.
Right.
So in the mix of all this, legacy brands are seeing they're being challenged because younger, emerging brands can get production done easier and quicker. And it's starting to be almost like, okay, we'll all have the capabilities, but only a few brands will actually dial into a purpose and a mission and really have a cohesive brand value. So that I think was going to be the challenging piece.
Because, I mean, we've already seen like what bots and some early, parts of AI do to discussion boards, to Twitter, to X, whatever, where it just becomes noise. Like, is this a person? Is this a thing?
The dead internet.
And how do you stay out of that noise but still get your message across? Like I think that's the $1 million question.
The other piece with agentic commerce, and we've got all these different terms floating around, but that's kind of
They define it in case they listen to those that heard it.
This will be hard to define, but as of now, agentic commerce seems to be the word for any commerce that uses either, as a shopper, I send my AI agent to go find me something and buy it for me, all the way to the other side where a retailer would have an AI agent and like interfacing, just like an associate would, whether that's online or a call center or maybe something in person.
Yeah.
Right. But where we're at right now is like we're starting to get to that point where ChatGPT there's some like little leaks or rumors that there's like a spot where you can keep your orders. Like if you make orders through ChatGPT, Perplexity has made partnerships with different e-commerce platforms, and there's sort of this looming event and rollout that's going to happen where we're going to, some people through some product categories, will start to just, hey, find me this product.
All these things about me because I've trained you on who I am. And I did hear maybe about a year or so ago, the former CEO of Shopify now works at ChatGPT.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, I mean, so there's more to come.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah.
Well, yeah. And so retail's job then becomes efficient fulfillment. And that's kind of what the job to be done. If the search, discovery, and selection all happened through an agent, then that's a different job to be done.
Availability
for retail.
And then who owns that journey, right? So ChatGPT knows a lot about you as the shopper, and then that order comes through, and will the retailer
have any idea?
Who they're serving?
Yeah. That shows up as one customer, in which case, wow, they bought a lot of weird combinations of things.
They didn't go to any of the pages. They just bought this really obscure product.
Yeah. Or imagine the credit card's probably part of it, but
Sure.
Nowadays there's ways for at least credit card companies to show a proxy for your card number, not your actual card number, and so that creates.
The other really this piece is really important is retailers being discovered by ChatGPT. Right. And so this idea, it's basically SEO, but in the new era.
Yep.
And in order to actually be found there, your product pages and all that product data has to be matching with whatever that prompt was talking about.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of a scramble now to at retailers and any D2C brands and all the way to supplier, because they're feeding this product information is, are we going to be okay with just the fields we use now, or will there be even more fields that customers are wanting to know?
I think it's a lot more because you have your portions that are defining your product. I think the part we have to start using is defining the purchase occasion, the reason, the need state. That I think that the more intuitive that AI becomes, I think it's going to look more to that than dimensions linked.
It's about the problem you're solving.
Yeah.
The solution you're trying to create, the usage occasions that, a particular product is well fit for, because that's the thing that the customers actually, like, what's behind the shopping list,
Yeah.
Is it just weekly replenishment to keep my family alive, or is it like Taco Tuesday?
Yeah.
And if I'm going to throw a Taco Tuesday, then great. Do I need to have Taco Tuesday somewhere on my PDP. Like, what then is required? So chat knows that this is how I'm going to go find it. Yeah.
This tablecloth is great for Taco Tuesday night.
You're gonna be glad you have it.
Yeah, Clint, it's an interesting kind of conversation because at least where we're at right now, tech is driving this, right? AI, if AI didn't exist, we wouldn't be having this particular conversation. But at the same time, brands, retailers, they're chasing the consumer, right? So the consumer's starting to adapt. There's more tech that's going to come in that will be adapted. Like, we're in a very, very evolving time frame right now for retail. Have you seen anything around consumers of where they're really starting to adopt this, or are we very early stage?
There are definitely some numbers out about consumers using ChatGPT. I'm saying that, but it could be Perplexity.
Or Gemini. Yes, yeah.
And speaking of Gemini, if you've searched in Google lately, like most of the things I search have a whole section of info at the top.
Yeah.
Like
With
like
Wales.
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't ask for that, but that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Like across.
I didn't ask, but how'd you know it's what I wanted?
But it's also a lot more intuitive than just the search results.
Yeah.
So, no.
Yeah, you got to trust those blue links and go to the site.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It is, as a consumer, a total brain flip.
Yep.
In prompting versus querying. Yes, there's a journey there, and that's necessary, as you mentioned. Large CPGs or retailers trying to adopt AI. There's this whole shift in, okay, how do I prompt well? This is a whole different skill set. I'm sure college students today, there's going to be a course like truly about prompting.
Yeah.
What's that look like? How do you do it well? But then, so it's on both sides, both the retailers and brands and the consumer trying to figure out where this is. Who's doing it really well from your point of view? Effective utilization of AI.
Who's prompting really well?
I would say that's fair.
I don't have.
Let me adjust my prompt. Forgive me. On the brand or retailer side, like, who is best positioned from your worldview to take advantage of this complete shift in traffic?
Well, it tends to be right now that they're going with trustworthy websites. So it's the initial rollout has been like, who's getting cited in AI, and it's overwhelmingly like the top news publishers.
Yeah, largest traffic.
Like, they're really going after just who's essentially the top SEO result and the best domain authority. And I do talk with a lot of like smaller brands that aren't Walmart or aren't, have that established, which they're saying.
Did you see a LinkedIn post about that?
I did.
About referral traffic more?
I think it was like there's more traffic coming through ChatGPT than there is on Walmart.com.
Wow.
For a particular category. It's like, it's the shift is happening.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean it's where they're converting or how they're converting, because half the time there isn't a link within, you're not actually using your agent to make the purchase, but it's to make the decision, then perhaps separating, but that's friction.
Yeah.
And technology is great at removing friction.
And something I just have to think is like, 2.0 or, 1.2 is paying to be seen, like paying the AI engines to be the result, right? Like, that's got to become a
I think that's a pretty
revenue line, right?
pretty big question now of just the bias that might be baked in. And you just addressed one of the biases, which was, if you don't know, guess. And that was how they programmed ChatGPT, just like multiple choice. If you're like, I don't know, A, B, C, or D, I'm just going to at least have a chance. They program it that way, I think, so there'd be some answers there for you. But that's a hallucination.
Yeah.
You all know that. So
Whereas when Siri says, I don't know, it's like, come on, Siri, try harder.
someone else.
The chat was going to give you an answer, but they might not know. Yeah.
Yeah, it might not be right. Yeah, I think there's a lot out there as far as like future predictions of how many people will start to use it, and what it means for shopping. But coming back to some of the truth-isms that we'll know, like e-commerce has kind of capped out in that 20% of all shopping, whereas 80% is still in store. So I find that a lot of this stuff about online AI, it's like it's still playing in that smaller piece of the pie.
Yeah, that's why I think we're very early on into this evolution. And I mean, who knows the future, right? We could hallucinate and speculate about that all day. You mentioned something earlier. You said you were in media before it was media. We're in a world now where retail media is becoming much more table stakes. Maybe before we get into like your learnings, your findings, how would you describe retail media?
The simplest way, because we're a retail media publisher, right? So I have to actually not say retail media in sequence. I have to say we're retail history publication. Because retail media in this industry it's the ads on the retail website or in store. It's the paid placement of boosting your product to the top, even all the way to end caps and display screens in the store. There's a lot more, I guess, deals between brands and retail than I think a lot of consumers realize. When there's like a huge like Super Bowl display or whatever, like growing up, I thought, oh, they're just trying to sell more Pepsi, But peeling back the veil, there's a lot of opportunity for brands to like take it, get their product placed in ways that they want. So in a nutshell, I kind of simplify it to like my family and friends who aren't in the space. Just it's ads. Right. It's paying for your product to be boosted or placed or whatnot.
Is that a common topic on the wire?
Huge. And what we've seen, of course, this is great prompts.
Nice.
I mean, this stuff that we talk about weekly or sometimes daily, it seems like this year has been very tough for margins. Like brands and retailers, wherever you're at in the supply chain, between tariffs and inflation, you're seeing just razor thin margins or negative. We just have to sell anyway. And so like if a retailer sells another 100 products at that rate, like it may not be much gain, but I think that retail media, there's a big push for it right now because it is a high margin product, you could say. And, it gives retailers another revenue stream that could be really beneficial for the brands. Especially, we've talked about just the valuation of the company itself, having another dollar in to the retail media,
that's pretty much bottom line.
Yeah.
That alternative income line item has grown with every major retail platform. And
Is that still
alternative
income?
income. Generally speaking, it depends on how it's done, but that's when you look at the earnings reports, you look at the final releases, like that's the actual P&L line to note.
And you both mentioned platform now, and knowing that Amazon has Prime, Walmart acquired Vizio last year, so retail media is going to continue to evolve. Let's kind of go into that retailer as a platform. How's that benefit one versus another? How are consumers engaging with that? How's it impacting shopping behavior?
I think that you're seeing this world of media and entertainment who used to sell ads to brands and retailers, and now retail is like, well, like you're spending a lot of money to like, get on TV, and why don't we just buy the TV? Put out our own kind of entertainment and media or create partnerships. And I think there's a lot about even just creating ritual around using, let's say for the Walmart app, for example. I had it on my phone, and yeah, if I fill up gas, even if it's not like a Walmart station, I like, hey, I can get a discount. So I pull up my app. I might actually scroll a little bit on the app and see what else is there while I'm filling up the gas.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a mindset for retailers to be, more, I guess, more involved in our lives and provide more value beyond just the transactional.
A little more ubiquitous. Just interact with it. It's not just store. It's not just going to the website anymore. It's much more involved.
There's just more opportunities to connect.
There was a post by a founder of Rage Wallet, and he said, of course, it was a hook to get you to read the post, but he said e-com is dead, and the agnostic commerce.
Yeah,
the omni-channel is kind of this. We use that term, but customers don't really think of channels, and
Totally.
especially like younger consumers, they don't really differentiate between online and in store. It's the same entity. It's the same brand. So agnostic commerce, I don't know if that term will stick. If he was just for that post, kind of makes sense. This idea that customers, they'll shop wherever they are, whether it's, online, in store, on a TikTok, maybe they're watching, watching their favorite movie or there's an ad and a little QR code, right? So there are so many places that you could buy now. And I think that's something that a lot of retailers are thinking about now.
Yeah, there's in-game buying. Something I've seen recently where they have a collection of games. It's one kind of platform. You earn points throughout the game, and then there's an in-game shop where you don't even have to leave the game to buy the thing that you're seeing there. Just something that might be interesting to you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like physical products.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not just the outfit.
Characters are
Like it's one that you can
yeah.
you can then take home.
Something that exists. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. In the brands and suppliers, manufacturers that you talk to in this sort of retail space, where's their mindset in treating retail as a platform as opposed to stuck in store, really only concerned about growing store, e-com's the other thing. Like how are you seeing that evolve?
There's definitely a pressure to, if you're a supplier brand, I think D2C is another component.
Yeah.
When you're selling through the main retail channels, there's a pressure to use some, buy some more retail media.
Yeah.
To build that relationship and get in there. And I think there's a little bit of overwhelm happening with like channel management. Between emerging brands, they might start with just Walmart Marketplace and Amazon Marketplace, and that's all they can really manage. But there are so many other places. It's fragmented.
Yeah.
If you're really going to spend some ads, you really want to spin up another 10 retailers and carry that management cost of keeping those relationships and making sure all the everything is going right. On top of that, some form of a dashboard of everything that's happening and which channels are helping and which ones might be cannibalizing other ones.
Yeah. And what consumer segment is really leaning on one versus another, and getting that better understanding of your consumer.
Have you seen certain things work really well for suppliers that have decided to move e-com penetration in their business from, single digit into closer to that 20 or above 20 to outperform
Single digit
e-commerce penetration versus store? I mean, obviously we play a lot in the Walmart and Sam's world, and that's where we are. So that's kind of where I'm picturing people coming in and they're getting into Walmart stores, massive massive win getting Walmart.com. There's a wide array of opinions on like, oh, this is amazing, I can't believe it, to like, I've got a way bigger business on Amazon. It's like, well, yeah. And what it takes to succeed there is different than what it takes to succeed with Walmart, and most don't quite understand that yet. So I'm just curious of those that maybe in your journey or what you've seen that have successfully gone from like, hey, we were really underpenetrated and now we're actually overpenetrated online, and how that journey unfolded.
I don't know if I have a direct your case for that. But in general, it seems like the term incrementality comes into play a lot, because you're going to put effort into adding another channel, and you want it to do something.
Right.
Right. And I think since Walmart has opened up Marketplace, it's kind of given, I think, a little bit of a gray area for like a lot of people, where it's like, okay, you're on Walmart, but you're, if you're in the Marketplace, it's kind of a step toward potentially, showing that we can make sales here. And when you finally get to like pitching to buyers to actually get in stores, then you have this track record.
They have data in their house, so to speak.
So whether it's their most profitable channel or whether they're selling at the margins they want to, I think that's what I've heard recently with brands looking to really get into it. Is let's at least get your foot in the door and just start getting even just getting used to the way of operating.
We advise our clients on that if they're not in anything, and we're talking about approach and talking about strategy and what the right assortment is. We'll say, okay, we can have a meeting in 3 months. Let's go ahead and get started on the Marketplace, because that's going to come up. Like, are you on our Marketplace? We could say yes, versus no, I'll look into that.
Yeah, and those that are a little bit further ahead, that it's a very smart pre-sale tactic.
Yeah,
of like, grow that business, grow it effectively, and truly iterate, learn, understand your customer, because you're now talking to Walmart's customer, not just your D2C. And that analogy is easier to bridge for a Walmart merchant of, okay, if you did this in Marketplace, you'll do this in store. There are some merchants that are looking at it as like, okay, if we're selling mugs, I carry these mugs in store. These are only online, but those online are outperforming my in-store items online. It's equal playing field. If I flip that and bring the online only that's outperforming apple to apple, will it outperform in store as well? There's quite a bit of pressure on, if apple to apple online, this thing is winning, it's what should be in store, not just whatever happened to already be there.
It's also a great way to avoid costly mistakes. For a company to launch into a national retailer and it not work, but it could have worked had we done this color, this gems, this whatever. You can learn this. That's what that's whether it's first party feedback or reviews. That's a relatively inexpensive way to learn what you need to change about your product before you go big.
Do you find brands trying and going too big and going too many stories all at once?
Oh, sure. I mean,
ready.
It happens sometimes. It happens. Yeah. It probably happens a little bit less, at least within our client base, who've done this for a long time, and we've seen, that how it can go sideways, and sometimes it's just the littlest thing, or it didn't quite have the right amount of people handling the orders for execution, implementation,
or your packaging didn't really articulate the value prop of your item, and you didn't have to face that when you're a D2C, because you've got all this additional real estate to talk about it. But that 4 seconds at shelf in a fluorescent lit very competitive space is really hard to simulate. But online, you can test, iterate, A/B test, try, and see what changes to that package are actually going to show up in store.
I think there's a reason Aesop wrote The Tortoise and the Hare, right? Like sometimes it pays off to go a little slower, right, early on before you really put your foot on the gas.
So as we sort of move on, I think the Retail Wire going to be a really helpful tool for those that are wanting to know where conversations are in retail, to give us like the most interesting thing that you're seeing right now that is exciting? The most exciting conversation you're having right now in the topic of retail, what would it be?
Covered some of them. Yeah. With the AI and agentic commerce, that's a really buzzworthy topic for sure. There's a lot of excitement around in-store retail.
Yeah.
It's just, maybe it's boring, right? Compared to all what the entire, world of tech is pushing. And it still is the main place.
Yeah.
And
Still the gorilla.
I think for me, a really interesting topic is about how far will personalization go before people say, stop personalizing so much, right? And just show me what you have. In general, it just seems like there's so much push from the tech side to implement all of these things. And the nuts and bolts of like what works in retail is so human.
Yeah.
It's analytical. It's our psychology, our biology, who we are.
Yeah.
And I think there will come a time where some will realize like that amount of data, like we have to decide what is the useful data that we want to use.
The so what actually should have stopped a few data points ago. Because we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And story is really a great equalizer.
Yeah,
right? For sure. It's where they're in their full, they're not just like one little screen scrolling and making impulse purchases or, kind of separate from like their full senses. I think in store, in fact, on our roundtable this morning, one of the fashion brands, he was saying that just the cost of actually making online work as just a straight e-commerce brand in fashion, he's like, a lot of us are moving to in-store. Like it actually it works better as far as cost. You'd think it'd be like cheaper, and more effective, just run lean on an e-commerce store. But he's saying it's hard to cut through. It's getting really costly. And in-store is something that's just a time-tested, proven method.
I think that's a great.
And there's an experience to picking your things out.
Yeah, I do like to. We'll kind of wrap on that. That we really started out with the agentic, the all the new, but there's still a lot of stores and a lot of people shopping in them. And at the end of the day, whether it's omni, whether it's agnostic, it's all those things. And we just got to follow the consumer, where they want to go.
Love it.
You want to take us to the lightning?
Yeah, we got a lightning round. We like to do a little something fast. The first one's real easy. What's your greatest failure in business?
Oh my gosh, that's a really easy question.
You're welcome. Yeah. Or just one of the things. What things? Yeah.
Trying to think of like a straight failure, but I think the theme of failure for me is just probably taking on things that were just too big or too. I jumped into something. You figure it out later, and it's worked for a lot of my life. But there are times when it's like
Later,
keeping an opportunity just because it's there.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't mean it will work out.
Love that times. No, just say yes. Last 12 months, biggest thing you've learned as a CEO, as a business person.
A lot of my focus has been on just understanding the retail industry, what's happening. I would say it's going to be kind of cliche, but human connection, right? Like in any industry, whether you think that it's just back to that thing about data, it's just, there's a bunch of data, there's a bunch of people. And if I wanted to connect with 1,000 people with that certain job title, great. But ultimately it does come down to a human connection. And that unscalable part, while everybody's talking about, sending out your AI agents to talk to everybody and do all your networking for you, it's like, there's an unscalable part that just, I don't think will ever go away.
Totally. Yeah. All right. This one's a little bit of a trap, but like, what are you reading? Kind of content are you into?
I've got a couple. books I'm reading. One is about the backstory of OpenAI.
Oh,
That's called The Empire of AI.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's back when Elon Musk was part of it.
Is it deepening your trust or?
Yeah, I don't know.
Cool. Let me know when you get to
Okay.
the end.
I'll get juicy.
And I think probably a good segue for the wrap is like, okay, where do people find you? How do they sign up?
Yeah, so I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, so people can find me there. Just connect. And we host live stream for public live streams with different tech leaders and different retail leaders. And then we're also hosting those private roundtables for brands that just want to talk in kind of a space where it's like you're free to say what.
Yeah,
It's non-competitive. Right?
we all needed that time, so
Yeah.
it's awesome.
But RetailWire.com is where people can find our publication, sign up for the newsletter, and get kind of updates of when the next events are.
Fantastic.
It's great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Chase.
Thanks for having me.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And thank you for tuning in. You can find all of our podcasts wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube or on our website at highimpactanalytics.com. Thank you.